You're scrolling through Instagram at 11 p.m. Your friend just posted photos from their vacation in Bali. Your colleague announced a promotion. A classmate from high school just bought their second house. And you're sitting in your room in the same pajamas you wore yesterday, eating cereal for dinner, wondering, what am I doing with my life? Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You've just spent 15 minutes measuring your entire existence against carefully curated highlight reels. And you're not alone. We all do it. But why? Why do we torment ourselves this way? And more importantly, what is comparison actually doing to us? The comparison trap. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Comparison isn't just a bad habit. It's hardwired into your brain. Psychologists call it social comparison theory. Back in 1954, a researcher named Leon Festinger discovered something profound. Humans have an innate drive to evaluate themselves. And when we lack objective standards like, am I a good person? Or, am I successful? We look sideways. We measure ourselves against other people. Think about it. You can't Google, am I doing well in life, and get a definitive answer. There's no universal scoreboard, so your brain does something clever and dangerous. It creates one. It starts comparing. Your salary to theirs, your relationship to theirs, your body to theirs, your quiet Tuesday night to their extraordinary Saturday adventure. But here's where it gets twisted. We don't compare ourselves to everyone. We compare ourselves to people who are close to us in age, in background, in opportunity. You're not measuring your life against Elon Musk or Beyoncé. You're measuring it against your college roommate, your sibling, that person from work who started the same week you did. Why? Because they're supposed to be like you. And when they're not, when they're ahead, happier, thinner, wealthier, it feels personal. It feels like evidence. Evidence that you're falling behind, that you're not enough. The two faces of comparison. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Not all comparison is created equal. Festinger identified two types: upward comparison and downward comparison. Upward comparison is when you look at people doing better than you. The friend with the dream job, the influencer with the perfect body, the neighbor with the pristine family. In theory, this should inspire you. In reality, it usually just makes you feel inadequate. You see their mountaintop and forget they had to climb too. You see the result, not the struggle. Downward comparison is the opposite. You look at people doing worse than you, and for a moment you feel relief, comfort. At least I'm not that bad. It's the reason reality TV is so addictive. Watching other people's drama makes your life feel more stable. But here's the catch. This comfort is hollow. It's like junk food for the ego. It satisfies temporarily, but it doesn't nourish you. Both types, upward and downward, come from the same broken place, measuring your worth by external markers. And both lead to the same destination, feeling like your life is never quite enough. The social media amplifier. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, social media. Before Instagram, before Facebook, comparison was limited. You saw your neighbor's new car. You heard about your cousin's engagement at Thanksgiving dinner. Comparison happened, but it was contained, finite. Now, comparison is infinite. It's 24/7, high definition, algorithmically optimized to hit you where it hurts. You wake up and check your phone. Before you've even brushed your teeth, you've seen someone's engagement ring, someone's abs, someone's book deal, someone's gourmet breakfast that looks like art. And it all feels so easy for them, so natural. Because you're not seeing the rejection letters, the failed attempts, the hours at the gym, the fights behind closed doors. You're seeing the highlight, the 1% of their life they chose to share. But your brain doesn't care. Your brain compares their highlight reel to your behind-the-scenes footage, their best to your average, and you lose. Every time. Research backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that limiting social media use to just 30 minutes a day significantly reduces feelings of loneliness and depression. Not eliminating it, just limiting it. Because even a small break from the comparison machine gives your brain room to breathe. The evolutionary root, But let's go deeper. Why are we wired this way in the first place? Thousands of years ago, comparison served a purpose. When you lived in a tribe of 50 people, knowing where you stood mattered. It determined your access to resources, protection, mates. If you were weaker than the others, you needed to know so you could adapt. Comparison wasn't vanity, it was survival. The problem? Your ancient brain hasn't caught up to your modern life. Your ancestors compared themselves to 50 people. You compare yourself to 500 million. Your ancestors saw real lives struggles and all. You see performed lives edited, filtered, monetized. The mechanism is the same, but the environment has changed. And that mismatch is killing our peace of mind. The hidden cost. Here's what most people won't tell you. Comparison doesn't just make you feel bad, it steals from you. It steals your joy. Because you can't celebrate what you have when you're obsessing over what you don't. It steals your focus. Every hour spent scrolling is an hour not spent building your own life. It steals your authenticity. When you're constantly comparing, you stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What will make me look good?" Vincent van Gogh sold one painting in his lifetime. One. If he had spent his days comparing himself to successful artists of his time, he might have quit. Instead, he painted for himself, for the work. And now, more than a century later, his paintings sell for hundreds of millions. He didn't win the comparison game. He refused to play it. So what do? How do we escape this trap? First, understand that you're comparing your insides to everyone else's outsides. You know your doubts, your failures, your messy mornings. You don't know theirs. Stop pretending you're seeing the full picture. Second, curate your inputs ruthlessly. Unfollow accounts that make you feel small. Limit your time on platforms designed to trigger envy. Protect your mind like you'd protect your body from poison. Third, shift from comparative to creative thinking. Instead of asking, "Am I ahead or behind?" ask, "Am I growing? Am I learning? Am I becoming who I want to be?" Your only real competition is the person you were yesterday. Fourth, celebrate others without diminishing yourself. Someone else's success doesn't cancel out your worth. The universe isn't handing out a limited supply of happiness. There's enough room for everyone to win. And finally, define success for yourself. Not based on what gets likes, not based on what your parents want, not based on what society says you should achieve, based on what makes you feel alive. Because here's the ultimate truth. The finish line you're racing toward? It doesn't exist. There's always someone richer, prettier, smarter, more accomplished. The comparison game is unwinnable. The only way to win is to stop playing. Look, I'm not saying comparison will disappear overnight. You're human. You'll still feel that sting when someone announces good news and you're still struggling. That's normal, but you can choose what you do with that feeling. You can let it spiral into self-hatred, or you can let it remind you, "I'm running my own race, and my race is enough." Your life isn't a competition, it's a story. And the most boring stories are the ones where everyone does the exact same thing. So stop scrolling for a second. Look around at your actual life, not the filtered version, the real one. The messy, imperfect, beautifully yours one. That's what matters. If this video resonated with you, drop a comment and tell me, what's one thing you're going to stop comparing yourself on? Let's hold each other accountable. And remember, you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. I'll see you in the next one.